I'm a senior at Mercer Island High School. The reason I came in today was just curiosity about Shick. I've never heard of him.
I've never seen any propaganda in the U.S. about the Nazis or Hitler, Mussolini, any of the characters depicted.
It was really brave of him to come out and do those pictures to say what he felt about racism.
It's a hard question asking what he would stand for today. Maybe it's a statement to put racial differences aside.
With a community like this here on Mercer Island, I think he would be a very valuable artist to include in a curriculum for the students here.
He illustrated books. Since I'm in the book business, I gravitated toward the books that he illustrated. When I got to understand what the book said and what they were conveying, I said, you know what, I think I want to spend part of my life really devoted to this artist. I'm at Mercer Island High School, and it's my hope to introduce the students to Arthur Szyk's art and its messages and how it applied to the complexities of his past and of the challenges that we face today. I had the pleasure of addressing the faculty and seeing their reaction to Szyk and his art.
His background encompasses a one-man campaign against the Axis, which started in his native Poland and mounted in intensity after his arrival in the United States in 1940. Arthur Szyk's cartoons blistered the dictator-led Junkers bent on world conquest.
And Arthur Szyk in 1939 was now living in London. The Battle of Britain was about to unfold, and he was in London because he was supervising the printing of the Passover Haggadah. And this wasn't just to be any illustrated book that someone might use at a meal, at a religious event. This religious book was actually a political book for him because he saw that what the ancient Egyptians had attempted to do to the Israelites, he saw arising again in Hitler, a modern pharaoh, and Nazism as another form of tyranny that was coming to annihilate the Jews. So Szyk saw history in contemporary terms. So he began to turn from the art of illumination to that of political caricature and cartoon. And he began to attack the Nazis through his art. And it began to appear in newspapers and in magazines. And so effective was Arthur Szyk in what he was doing in London that the British government and the Polish government that was in exile decided to send Arthur Szyk to America to bring the face of the war in Europe to the Western world.
Students really love sarcasm, irony, comedy, caricatures, cartoons. They love the simplicity that caricatures and stereotypes give them before they move on to higher thinking. So I think that this kind of artwork is ideal for high school students.
This painting, which is called A Madman's Dream, actually appeared in Coronet magazine in 1940, before the U.S. entered the war, almost as if to give America warning. Arthur Szyk was saying to the viewing public in America, look what's in store for us if we don't pay attention, that Hitler will be standing on his throne, at his feet will be the world. He plans to put Uncle Sam and John Bull in chains. This is a madman's dream. This image, the Battle of the Warsaw Ghetto, was executed during the war years. If you look at the border, what Szyk does is he dedicates this to the German people, sons of Cain, be ye damned forever and ever. When I read this dedication, what do I do with it today? Are they damned forever and ever? How do you approach it today? If you're a young person sitting there saying, are the Germans still damned forever and ever?
I think the major application would be in a social studies class because he is capturing the spirit of an age. These pictures are worth tens of thousands of words. So I think, the young imagination would just go wild with these images, especially if they're informed with some of the history that the images are attempting to tell.
So if you thought this was worth bringing to your students, we created a study guide to go along with this exhibit. It actually decodes each image, and then you can use that to figure out how to decode other images.
Unbelievable.
I can get you as many of these as you want.
I would love a poster size of that. I would like to use it in class.
You can note that that piece you'd be interested in. It's exciting to see the way in which people who've never heard of Szyk can actually be drawn into it from many, many perspectives, and to understand how there is a piece of what he's doing that can be applied to anyone's life, to any teacher and to any student. What did Szyk really think? Well, it won't matter as much as how the kids will respond to the art and how they will respond to the messages. I really want his images to speak and allow you and allow the students really to then derive their own perspective from it. Szyk's job is to serve as a catalyst. It's to get you to think and to respond, not to sit back. This is the place to engage.
Within his art, there is a lot of stereotyping. I especially wonder with our Asian students, how they're going to view some of those images.
It's really important to take that on. I would love to see the issue addressed about the racial stereotypes and the Japanese and the way that he almost makes them look like apes in some instance. It's not fair play within the context of what we're doing today because it's being understood differently. I'm going to speak to the student body here, and I know it's something I've been waiting for, but I think it's something that Szyk's art has been waiting for. This is going to be an auditorium filled with high school students who've never heard about Arthur Szyk. Who would have taken a black man and have illustrated his role in the American Revolution? It was not a popular thing that anyone would have touched, and yet Szyk saw all minorities in the struggle for the freedom of America, and he dared execute this painting in this fashion. Szyk takes Lincoln and he paints him within the context of sort of World War II, because for him, history was not stagnant. History was evolving, and so that it had a message in every generation if the values that it was expressing were eternal ones. This Szyk painted in 1940 and appeared in magazines saying to America, pay attention, this is what is about to unfold. This is what awaits you if you don't wake up.
It showed the Statue of Liberty. She had a Nazi armband. She was holding a swastika instead of a flame. Though I've known about the Holocaust, I've never seen any propaganda in the U.S. about the Nazis or Hitler or Mussolini.
And after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Time issued its cover showing General Yamamoto as the aggressor. And he dared do this in 1943. He painted this piece showing sort of the blonde Caucasian here, the black man and the Jew, all working together, united in common cause. You didn't do this in World War II because the blacks and the whites weren't together. They were segregated units. Here, the white GI says to the black GI, what would you do with Hitler? And the black GI says, I would make him a Negro, and I would drop him somewhere in the USA. Because racism was so bad in America then, Szyk saw that. And America is fighting the war abroad like this, but there's no blinders, because he sees if you want to fight abroad, why not take care of business at home?
I was confused because he seems very anti-racist, yet he portrays the Japanese perfectly.
So what is Szyk doing?
It seemed at first very racist. It's very unsettling in a sense, but it's not that their race is bad, but it's these monstrous things that they're doing to humanity.
Well, that's what you were looking for, because you wanted to examine this piece.
Why did he depict Jesus as opposed to Moses, carrying the 10 Commandments?
Perhaps that was his connection, connecting Christianity to Judaism was through his holding of the 10 Commandments, which is the most visible, well-known sort of biblical
that would make sense.
Phrases.
It really is a very powerful picture.
I knew people were against racism. I was surprised a painter who was dealing with Nazism would look at that as well.
I got a book from our school. The name of the book is Negro Music Makers. And it's like this horrible thing, and it's like these pictures, and it's black guys in like white suits, and like I was like, oh my god, this is in our school. I feel like checking it out and then just not returning it
ever again.
Yeah.
No, you should.
But then again, it's good to keep it because it's part of history, even if it's a little more recent than we would like.
See, there he's making Hitler look like a raving lunatic. See where it says Berlin Sportpalast? It was actually a place where Hitler gave a speech. And Shick must have heard about this on the radio because he did this drawing that night, and the next day it appeared in the New York Post. See, he would do magazine covers, look, during the war. And this art was never made to make you feel comfortable, right? I mean, it's not.
That's a huge statement.
Well, I think that Arthur Szyk's work is so diverse and layered that to bring it into the classroom, it opens up a variety of different kinds of conversations. You could take it in so many different directions that he would be a very valuable artist to include in a curriculum. You could engage students on that many different levels.
I think it's really brave to be creating this kind of artwork in a time where that would have been so politically dangerous. I think that he had a really good eye for social injustice and political injustice. So he could look at the politics of today and see where injustice lies and make people ask questions just like he did when he was making this artwork.